होई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो ये पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महलेरा।
Good morning, Becky.
नाथ हृदय महलेरा। पवन तनया संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप।
Good morning, guys. How are you? How are you? Happy Sunday. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Diane. You know the music. You say that you love it. I love it too. It's a song called Hanuman Chalisa. Look it up. I'm going to post it in the group, but it's a song to the monkey god in Indian belief. And he somehow rules Capricorn, which is what the eclipse is going into. Right? So this song is like a devotional song that pays homage to Saturn, which is also ruled by Capricorn. Saturn and Capricorn are directly intertwined. And I believe so. And so Saturn is retrograde right now. The full moon eclipse that's happening on the 16th is eclipsing into Capricorn. So I've been playing this song 3 times a day throughout the day. Actually, I have a female version of it too, but I've been playing this song 3 times a day in honor of the retrograde and in honor of the eclipse going into Capricorn. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to work with the planets, keep the gods and the planets and the spirits and the energies happy by playing the sort of the devotional songs that are made or written for them. Does that make sense? Like the other day when I posted that song about Mercury in honor of the retrograde by Sufjan Stevens, I felt like it was appropriate. So I'm doing this with this song, and let me play the female version. I have another version of it where a woman is singing it in the background. And it's absolutely beautiful and it's totally peaceful. And Saturn is such a funny planet. You know, we have our Saturn returns, which is like the teacher, the stern father, the one that comes around and has all the rules. And kind of gives us not the hard lessons, but if there's anything we didn't learn or we didn't pick up or we're destined to repeat, that's kind of where Saturn teaches us and shows us. And so why is it so dark on that side of the room? It's really strange how dark that side of me is. What is going on there? Let me have 1 second. I don't know if that helps at all. No, that's still the wrong side of the room. Strange. I don't want to put on the lamp up above because then it gives a cast above me, but there just feels like there's this darkness on this side, like today, a heavier shadow than normal. It is kind of gray out here in Vallarta, so that might be part of it too. So I was playing that song to kind of not only appease the god of Saturn or the planet of Saturn and that energy and let it know that I'm here to honor it and work with it and allow it to teach me what it needs to, that I'm open to that. But I'm also playing it because we're getting ready. This is also why the eclipse door is closing. You know, like they say that the eclipse tunnel is closing. So what we want to let go of on the 16th as the moon transfers into Capricorn, Capricorn's associated, I believe that Capricorn's associated with Saturn. I'm pretty sure of that. And so that means that some of those harder lessons, that's why the astrologers have been saying, we're if we don't let it go, we're destined to repeat it. It's kind of like, Saturn will bring it back around to us in another way, shape, or form, and we'll have to go through whatever thing that's not serving us. We'll do it with either a different partner or a different job or a different set of circumstances that, are showing us the exact same thing we've been dealing with up until this point. That's my take on it. So take it as you may. I could be completely fucking wrong in the total, making no sense. So don't worry about anything I say. Just take it as much as you need it, kind of thing. But let me put on the female version. I'll put it on in the background softly so we can still appease Saturn and the coming Capricorn eclipse. Because I know that the eclipse is in Capricorn. And I also am playing this to appease my Saturn because I had my astrology done, my chart done by a Vedic astrologer here in Vallarta. And she told me that she's the one that turned me on to this song. And she said it's like a devotional song to Saturn, which helps to sort of appease that planet. And so she's the one, her name is Cheryl, and she goes by the Vallarta, Vallarta astrologer. You can like her page on Facebook. She does a free monthly astrology report, which is beautiful, which is how I found her. And then I had my full chart done with her, and it was well worth it. Like amazing stuff came out of it, and I found this song out of it. So long story for just a song, but let me find the other version of it. This is done by a woman. But it's the same devotional song. And it's called Hanuman, Hanuman Chalisa, Chalisa. And it's a devotional song that you can buy on iTunes. Okay. It's hot there in Vegas. Well, I'm sorry, Linda Rose Massa. It's hot here. It's humid here. It's gray and humid here in Vallarta. But hey, Leslie Ann. Good morning. Good morning, Ducky. Good morning, Rhonda Chire. Good morning, Royson. I'm not doing free card pulls. This is, if you read the title of the video, it is a weekly forecast that I'm doing, Royson. So I am forecasting for the people that are watching this video to look at the energy of the week. My name is Dan Geist, and this is my channel or my videos that I shoot under my business name of Engelgeist. And so on Sundays, I pull 3 cards with the intention of sort of looking at this week's coming energy, what we'll be dealing with. And so I am your energetic meteorologist, your spiritual meteorologist. I am like your weatherman, but with energy. So I pull 3 cards to kind of let us look at what we might be dealing with as a collective, kind of like you would look at the weather report before heading out to work every day. That being said, it is That being said, it is a general reading for a collective of people. So therefore, it's not going to be completely 100% accurate, and that's okay. Some of you may experience some cards a little stronger than others of you. Some of you may experience a card for a few days. Some of you may experience a card only for one day. It's different for each person's experience. But this is just to give us an idea of what we can look out for and how we can better deal with it through the week coming up. So today is the 14th of July of 2019, and we're reading 3 cards for the 14th through the 20th, which is Saturday, July 2019. And we have that eclipse on the 16th, which is kind of coming up. I hope y'all are prepared for it. It should be good. It should be an opportunity to let go of those things that aren't working for us. We want to do that. We want to appease Saturn, this Saturn, this eclipse that's coming in Capricorn, and just roll with it. Okay. 105. Oh my God, Indiana, everybody's burning up. It's okay, Royson, it's totally fine. Don't be sorry. You're allowed to ask. I just want to be clear. So I do card pulls on when I do pop-ups. If you like the page, like my business page and subscribe to the YouTube channel, when I do pop-ups, I do free card pulls then, and I post those in the same groups. But this is just my free service for the weekly sort of energy report. Does that make sense? So don't feel sorry or bad. All right, so give me one moment. Everybody take a deep breath with me. Let's close our eyes and get in the center of our head. Take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth, and we'll release it out through our mouth. So let's go. Let's bring ourselves to center. Inhale again and exhale. Inhale again. You can hold it for a second. And release. Okay, let's bring ourselves into present time. Doesn't that feel good, guys? Welcome to Sunday, the 14th of July, 2019. Wow. We're also getting ready to go into 2020, dudes. It's going to be a shift. All right, so let me shuffle. Spirit, I'm asking for 3 cards for the energy of the week that the collective will be looking at during the week of Sunday, the 14th of July, 2019, to Saturday, the 20th of July, 2019. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Please show me 3 cards that best represent the collective's energy. All right, so I'm going to say this. There is a little resistance going on in the cards and a little bit of a heaviness this week. But when I ask about the heaviness or the resistance, sort of the idea or the thoughts that I'm having is that people are going to be busy this week. It feels like you guys are going to be getting things done and accomplished. I don't know if that has so much to do with this eclipse on the 16th. Like getting stuff done and accomplished via that eclipse, but also it feels like there's going to be a lot of work things and stuff shifting for people. Things will come together as I'm feeling these cards, but it feels like there's just a lot on people's plates maybe this week. There might be a little bit of overwhelm for some of us, or a little bit of struggle because we're going to panic because we'll be like in our thoughts going, oh no, I can't handle it all. But that's not necessarily true because the cards are coming together in the shuffle. So it feels to me like you will be able to handle it all as long as you allow yourself to and remind yourself that you are a capable spirit and that you can get it done. You will get it done. Okay, Spirit, thank you. All right, we're going to pull 3 cards for the week. Now, each card, for those of you that are new to me, those of you that aren't and didn't know how I work, you all have heard this, but each card sort of represents for, a day or 2 of the week, right? We have, 7 days in the week or 6 days in this week. So each card is kind of about 2 to 3 days in the week for those of us. And some of us might experience some of these cards throughout the entire week. It's really, each individual experience. This is just to give you a heads up. So the first card that we have, interesting. She's back. What is that about? The cards have been repeating a lot, guys, lately, and I'm telling you, it has to do with Spirit trying to get this message across that she's just trying to talk to us through these cards and really trying to drill it into our heads. Now Buddha's camera's working correctly this morning. I'm not exactly sure why. I turned it on and I checked it out, and lo and behold, Buddha was at work doing his job properly, not trying to steal the spotlight. So this is the card. This is the Woman of Cups, which would be sort of similar to the Queen of Cups. This is going to be our card for today. I would say Monday and even possibly Tuesday. If we can carry this card out into Wednesday, I say go for it. This is an emotional card, but there's a lot of joy here. When you look at these 2 smiling female faces, there's a lot of female power, feminine energy, a lot of just really connecting growth. These lotuses are blooming. There's spiritual growth here. There's feeling whole. There's feeling... Good morning, Holly, Corey Day. There's feelings of being like just whole, intuitive, trusting our emotions, trusting ourselves. trusting our spiritual selves. There's this spider web up here, this woman that's sort of sinking in water. There is some of you that are maybe trapped in your thoughts a little bit, or maybe are having a little bit more of a negative experience, and I don't want to negate that for you, but you can let that go. You can get into this place of rejoicing. You are protected. You are safe. You are able to feel the freedom and the joy of what life brings to us, right? And that's what this card is about. It's like, focus on the joy. Rejoice in the wonderful things that you have. The other thing about this card is it's a very strong feminine energy. And when I look at this card, I always think about a couple of things. Spend time with your good girlfriends, or like spend time around the women that you love. And this goes for the men too. Like, you can spend time with your good buddies, so to speak, but like explore some of your more intuitive feminine traits or nature, right? Whether we acknowledge it or not. As a gay man, I have no problem doing that. But some straight men that may watch the forecast are like, what? We have intuition, men have intuition too. We have where it's maybe we have access to our own insight and our own intuition and our own sort of joy, right? And as a society, men aren't necessarily allowed to express joy in a very open way. They're not really allowed to express their emotions much at all. But this card tells me today that we want to be in that joy. She was here last Sunday. Do you remember that, guys? This card was here. I write my cards down on my calendar so I know. Rejoicer was the first card of last Sunday. She's here again. She's doing a repeat. She's reminding us to get in our emotions and feel that joy. Not all of us, like these spider webs here, they're telling me that some of us are stuck in our thoughts. These spider webs are kind of like sticky thoughts that like want to pull us out of our joy, want to pull us out of the place of being happy or being thankful or grateful. Let's put Hanuam Chalisa on one more time. That will be my third time for today. Once for the mind, once for the body, once for the spirit. But it's reminding us to remember that we are like joyful beings at heart, and we can have as much joy as we want to allow in. We can also have joy even in the midst of our sadness or our sorrow or our pain. That joy can be present and allowed for, and we can also have both. Like we can feel sadness or maybe worry or whatever it is that we might be feeling that may be negative, but we can also temper that with joy and freedom and growth and beauty, and try and acknowledge that within ourselves. So let's try and do that over the next few days. If we can carry this card through the whole week, it will be a beautiful week for us. But those of us that maybe can't, that's okay. Just find it as best you can, even just for today. The more that you find it, the more that you'll be able to sort of live from it. The more that you can live from it, the more that you'll produce, and the more joy that you'll see, and the more positivity that you'll spread, the better your week will be, okay? So I'm going to take her down. Let's look at the next card. And I flip these cards as I go. We're going to turn off Buddha. Interesting. One second, let me write this down. Really interesting, actually. Okay, so our next card. This is going to be a weird week. I mean, not weird in a bad way, a good week, but this is interesting because the queens are all coming out this week. So this card is the Woman of Wands. She doesn't show up much. I've not seen her much in my, how do I want to say it? In my forecasts. I think this might be her first time showing up since I've been doing videos. She shows up a lot in my personal readings that I do for people, but she's not shown up to be on camera, and she's a little bit elusive, let's just say that. Woman of Wands is censor. And it's interesting because the Woman of Cups, which she's also like sort of similar to the Queen of Wands, right? She's our midweek card. She's all about personal magic, spiritual magic. And part of the reason why I said magic is because of this cat. There's these meditating, like these vibrating hands. There's a meditating woman right here. There's a flower blooming down here. There's a lot of like there's even an angel back here in front of the sun. I don't know if you can see it. And there's this like shamanic presence happening here and another blooming flower here. So there's a lot of magic, a lot of spiritual awareness, a lot of coming into one's power, okay? This power can be used, I feel like, both for the benefit or for the detriment of I feel like sometimes the censor card can sometimes mean manipulation or the manipulating of a situation. It feels like, I feel like this card always represents as somebody that can like is aware of the rules but knows how to break them. Does that make sense? In a way that serves them. So, but we want to be careful about, I feel like I want to say that some of you need to be careful about not slipping into worry or need or fear and trying to manipulate situations out of fear. Manipulate them out of sort of knowing what you deserve, right? In a beneficial sort of way, or giving to others what it is that they need from a good place. Like, use your senses, use your psychic senses, use your spiritual senses. This is censor, right? So you want to be feeling your way. Like, Woman of Cups is your feelings, censor is your spiritual, like, sort of antenna, right? These are strong female influence cards, so this feels like it's going to be a very sort of intuitive week for us. We're going to want to rely on our intuition to get through this week. It feels also too, I have to say, and I'm just going to hold the Woman of Cups up. If you look at both of these cards, I said earlier we're going to be busy. Do you see the busyness in the art of the cards as far as how much things are sort of like, there's just so much going on in the cards, the activity. They do feel busy. The Woman of Cups to me feels more blue and more solemn or more calm, where this Woman of Wands feels like maybe midweek some of us might be a little bit more aggravated, a little bit more annoyed, a little bit more wanting to like sort of push our power and say like, no, you can't treat me that way. And that's fine, but we want to be careful how we go about doing that, because with this sort of spiritual power that is in the Woman of Wands, we don't want to abuse that in any way or like use that in any way that would sort of harm or hurt others. We want to really own it, but we want to own it from a place of healing, and that's this green up in here. For some of us, instead of owning it from a place of anger or frustration, if we're owning it from a place of healing and from love, there's power to be had here, guys. There's personal power, there's empowerment, there's strong spiritual messages, there's intuition that we can trust and really know. But that's also very present in this first card, right? So this is like the strengthening of that, but this is like the visual that I'm getting is as that strengthens for us, we get a choice. Do we take this road or that road? Do we go the road of angry demanding, or do we go the road of like being in control and being in our power and sensing who we are and what we know and owning that, but not necessarily needing to push that upon anybody, okay? Hey, Christy Wilson. So I'm going to take that down. Thank you, Kristen McCauley Dempsey. Thank you for sharing. Please subscribe, guys, to the business page or like the business page and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, for our third card for the week. Interesting. Wow, we're all up in our feelings this week, guys. This is the Child of Cups. So we go from Woman of Cups at the beginning of the week to the Child of Cups. This Child of Cups to me is also called Feeler, which is what I was saying. And again, it's a very busy art card. There's a lot going on here, right? But Feeler to me this card is always about, because it's a child card, it's like not a lower rank, but it's like we're sort of relearning things around our feelings. We're relearning about joy. We're relearning about how to be joyful and be like a child. And like, maybe... I'm just going to use this as an example. Like personally, I always walk around sometimes going like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Well, if I keep telling myself I'm so tired, I'm going to be what? Tired. So I have to stop doing that. This card says to me, like, where I would use this at the end of the week is through this busy week that might be busy for all of us. By the end of the week, I need to find that like enthusiasm, that enjoyment, the joy that was in the first card. I need to bring that back through, but in a more childlike way, right? And up my energy. Go into the weekend by Friday feeling like playful, fun, joyous, and feeling those things. Not everything's going to be perfect. We've got some of this blue down here, which says to me some of us might be a little bit sad, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't find happiness, or even, sometimes for me when I'm really sad or I'm down, it's a healing just to like acknowledge that that's where I'm at and not judge myself and allow myself to be there. And I feel like that's what this Feeler card is this is about us all being in our feelings and being in our power while we're feeling maybe a little bit joyous, at some points maybe vulnerable for some of us, but just allowing ourselves to be that way during this week. Like I said, the 16th, we have this eclipse, which is doors closing, right? And we also have all of these planets that are retrograde. So I think that some of these things for us, we're going to be busy this week. We're going to be up in our feelings. We're going to be up in our intuition. Those things are going to be accurate for us, right? But we also don't want to let those things frustrate us. Like if we're since we're in a Mercury retrograde, if we're feeling intuitively about how somebody's acting or communicating and they're miscommunicating with us due to the retrograde, let's give them a break. Let's not lash out at them from this Woman of Wands place. Let's like shift into this Child of Cups and be more playful with them and enjoy the awkwardness of the retrograde, or enjoy the mishaps that might happen throughout the week. But I do feel like a lot of things will get accomplished this week. So I don't want you guys going into the week thinking, oh my God, there's going to be mishaps. It's not about that. It's about trusting ourselves emotionally. As an overview, I'm going to take this down. When I look at all three of these cards, I feel like the Woman of Wands, the Woman of Cups starts it off. The Woman of Wands sort of teaches us a little bit about ourselves, not only spiritually, but like our own power and our own magic, right? And the responsibility that comes with that, right? This Child of Cups brings us back to that Cups energy where we get to almost renew our feelings again and repick our joy, but pick it from a more youthful, energized place. And we get to learn. This feeler card too, to me, feels like the visual that I'm getting is like the Woman of Cups and the Woman of Wands as they come together through the week, and we experience them both coming through this week. We get to this place of the Child of Cups where it's a new place to generate emotions from, because we have new awarenesses about ourselves. We have new situations. We've maybe let go of a few things during the eclipse, and we have new things that are serving us that are better for our higher good, that feel better. That's why we have this card Feeler, right? But we have to acknowledge those better feelings, right? And so it puts us back in this child space of where we get to learn like how to operate from a new place without some of those things that were maybe holding us back, weighing us down. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys, because it makes sense to me, and I sort of see it in these cards that this Child of Cups means that we're going to be having like sort of new joys by the end of the week, and new ways of feeling, and new ways of learning how to be joyful, enthusiastic about life, excited about life, maybe even new ways of like dealing with our sadnesses or our past pain. They're not going to have such the impact that they maybe have had up until recently. Does that make sense? So let's be prepared to shift that, and from that childlike perspective too. I love that it's the Child of Cups, because children always look through like wide-eyed innocence, right? And so when I think of this card, it's like we're looking at our feelings in a whole new different way, and we're going, oh wow, okay, I understand why I feel that way, and I can acknowledge and respect that and allow myself to be there, no matter where there is, whether it's extremely joyous and high vibration and happy, or whether it's sad or maybe a little bit hurt, but acknowledging that and healing that for ourselves just through the acknowledgement and not judging ourselves or beating ourselves up about it. Because kids don't do that. Like, they're trained that, they learn that from us as adults, but they don't do that originally, right? So that's what this card represents to me. Find your joy at the beginning of this week. Get into this Rejoicer card. Bloom spiritually. Watch that spiritual blooming turn into this Woman of Wands, where she is a powerful, intuitive, spiritual, connected woman who has magic and ways of making situations work for her. Shift into this Child of Cups by the end of the week, where you find joy and enthusiasm and play, like things like that limitless energy. Hopefully, I hope that you guys can find that for yourselves. It's going to be a busy week, and it's going to be an interesting week. And I like the cards for this week. I think that it's all about, the funny thing to me is that there's no mental cards here. The only thing that I see mental are these spider webs in the beginning in this Rejoicer card. So some of you guys are really releasing all of these cards that were like mental that we were seeing like last week and stuff, the delusion card that kept showing up. It says to me that those of you that are my regular watchers, you guys are letting go of some of this negative thought pattern stuff, because these feel like more like spiritual and feeling patterns, and we're trusting them more. And when we trust our feelings are sort of our emotional barometer, or our spiritual way. It's sort of how our spirit communicates to us through our body, right? It's like our barometer for what's right or wrong in our life and whether or not it feels good or bad. And so I think that this is us this week sort of trusting that and getting closer to that. And I think that that's a really good thing. So as I say when I end with everything is that it's all just energy. So no matter what the cards are, remember that it's just energy and it will change. Energy is not static. It will not like stay holding for very long. You always have to remember, no matter what the situation is, if you're suffering or you're struggling or you're feeling pain or sadness, that it will shift if you let it. And if you find the blessing or you find the teaching or you find some sort of gratitude for whatever it is you may be dealing with, no matter how negative it may be, it will help to shift that, either your perception or the actual situation itself and the energy. And you can always raise your vibration into a higher space where it feels a little bit better. So I leave you with that, just so that you guys can know that if there is anybody that's watching that's going like, this guy's crazy, I don't feel that positive, I don't feel like what he's talking about, you can, dears. I promise you, you can. It's there for you. You just need to find the gratitude and the blessing. We get to breathe every day. We get to live every day. We came down here as spirits into third dimensional bodies to have these experiences. And trust me, I'm a miserable Mary too when I get into my own head. But the truth is more and more I catch it, and then I start to go, okay, I need to find gratitude for this. I need to get in line with this Mercury retrograde. I need to get excited about it and be like, okay, bring it. Like, I'm ready. Like, if things go wonky or computers glitch or communication goes wonky, there's a reason for it. It's here to show me something. It's here to not test me, but like teach me how to better react. How to react from a place of love versus aggravation or frustration. How to react from a place of patience versus, sheer anger. So I think it's a gift, and I'm trying to really hold on to that perception this week and last week and this whole month. I'm trying to treat all of it as a gift as much as possible. I'm paying homage to it in my meditations. I'm thanking the planets all the way to the universe and thanking them for going retrograde and bringing me the lessons that I need to learn so that I can evolve. The more of us that do that and the more of us that hold that in our space, that perception, that gratitude, the faster our spaces change, the higher our vibrations can raise, the better people we can become, the more at peace we will be. And as we do that, it affects others and the environment around us, and we evolve. But it's really up to us to, be mindful of our own energy and our own perceptions and where we hold those things for ourselves. And as we are mindful of that, and as we work on that, like almost tending to it like a garden, I'm like looking at you tend to the garden with love and care, like a little plant that you would want to grow. If you take that and you grow that plant, it makes that garden that much more beautiful and that much more, other plants, then the bees come and they pollinate and they carry. So it affects outward. It's like a ripple effect. And we need that as a planet. We want that as a planet. We deserve that as a planet. And you deserve all of these good things too, So I hope you guys have a good day. I'm going to go. Please tune in tomorrow. Please like, share, subscribe anywhere where it would be appropriate. I love subscriptions. I broke 100 subscribers on YouTube, which I was really excited about that because that allowed me to change the name of my YouTube channel because I was operating under my old gamer tag because I like to video game. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would love it. I love the YouTube format, and I want to be kind of getting subscriptions over there. So please, if you're on YouTube, go over there. Please like my business page, follow my business page. I notice a lot of you are liking and following my personal page, and that's great. But at some point, my main goal is to be working only from the business page, the Engelgeist group, and YouTube. So I don't want those of you that are following my personal page to miss out on postings and things like that. So please, if you are watching this and you have followed me on my personal page, it's fine, but it's best to put a follow to my business page and to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay? I love you guys. Have a great day. Look up this song, Chanam I'm sorry, Hanuam Chalisa. Maybe buy it today on iTunes and play it a few times and see how it makes you feel. It's been making me feel very much at peace, and I'm telling you that the eclipse is coming in Capricorn, and I believe Capricorn is attributed to Saturn, and this song is an homage to Saturn. So I think that I'm making Saturn happy by paying homage to it, and it's going to make that eclipse beautiful for me. That's my intention today and this week. Okay, and I hope it's beautiful for all of you too. That's my intention too. All right, I love you guys. Have a great day. You can hear my dog snoring under the table, Ducky. Yeah, she picks the most appropriate times to come right under the table. What she does is she comes under the table while I'm doing the forecast and she licks my feet. She's such a weirdo. I think it's this thing. She knows that I'm trying to help others, so she's trying to help me while I'm doing this. And then she falls asleep under there. So she's a sweetheart. She's my little nurse lady. All right, have a great day, you guys. Have a good Sunday, and look forward to this week. It's a busy week where you're going to get a lot accomplished, and stay positive. There's a lot of power and beauty in who you are and how you feel and what you know. All right, good day. Bye.